Welcome everyone. Welcome to the Bridge Builders of Diversity, where we're bridging the gap between the typical community and the disability community. Yes, Roberta's not here today. She'll be back soon. In honor of November being Alzheimer Awareness Month, which is a topic near and dear to my heart, my grandmother's sister, my Aunt T. Clara, had Alzheimer's. I was under the age of 5. I would go with my grandparents to visit her at the nursing home where she was. Years later, my own grandmother, she was a sweet woman, also developed Alzheimer's. I lived with her in the last few years of her life. It's very much a very disheartening disease to watch your loved one go through that. And recently, in the last couple of years, my godfather has been diagnosed with an early onset dementia, which is heartbreaking. In his 60s, should be in the prime of his life, of traveling and everything else. Thankfully, as a wonderful, supportive partner who's there for him, who I think of all the time, because I know what she's going through. Dealing with it with my own grandmother. And like I said, this is a very important topic. I'm sure many people who are listening to this video have been touched or had their lives affected by Alzheimer's. So what is Alzheimer's? It's a neurodegenerative disease. It starts slow and then progressively gets worse over time. And 60 to 70% of this causes dementia. And the early symptoms can be difficulty remembering recent events. So if you're struggling with stuff like that, you may want to go get checked out, or if you know a family member who is having those early signs, go talk to the primary care doctor, make an appointment at a neurologist. So as it progresses, the symptoms can include problems with language. One thing I noticed with my godfather, he had called me to thank me for my Christmas gift during COVID, and it was a very strange conversation. I even called my mother afterwards, because my parents are in their 80s and my dad's almost 90. They're not struggling with anything like that, so I thought it was kind of odd. So I called up my 80-something-year-old mother. I'm like, what's going on? Something's wrong. And then a couple months later, we found out what was going on. So that language, disorientation, getting lost, mood swings, loss of motivation, self-neglect, and behavioral issues. And some of those also sound like symptoms of depression as well. So if any of those are happening with you or a loved one, again, seek professional help. And then eventually the sad thing is gradually the bodily functions are lost. They go away. I remember that with my Aunt Clara. And after diagnosis, life expectancy is sadly 3 to 9 years. And it is very sad to watch somebody you love go through that. So, and this also ties in with Down syndrome. If you don't know, many people with Down syndrome are at higher risk of getting Alzheimer's or something similar, a dementia that's very similar to Alzheimer's. So with the advances in healthcare and the lifespan of people with Down syndrome, they have this additional health risk now, which is very common in their 40s. They'll have these plaques. Might be familiar with the beta amyloid plaques in the tau tangles. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. So that's the abnormal protein deposit, which is the hallmark of Alzheimer's. And researchers also look to people with Down syndrome, because people with Down syndrome, some of them don't develop dementia even though they have these plaques. So there's a little mystery there in figuring out why they don't, which may help the general population. So researchers are hoping to identify that. So, and according to the National Down Syndrome Society, 30% of people with Down syndrome in their 50s have Alzheimer's and 50% in their 60s. So those are staggering statistics. So if you have a loved one with Down syndrome, it's very important to keep an extra eye out for those signs and symptoms and seek medical care as appropriate. Again, November is Alzheimer Awareness Month, and it's important if you see a family member or friend or somebody you love struggling, encourage them to get checked out, or somebody who's in charge of their care to make sure they get checked out. There are some drugs, not a doctor or anything, but those are all options you can look into to see if the type that you have may help you. If you like our content, please don't forget to smash all those buttons. Help us get out into the YouTube universe so we can help bridge that gap between the disability community and the typical community, so we can all live harmoniously together. So we appreciate you all, and we thank you for watching. Love you all. Thank you. Bye-bye.